Hello class. Today we're going to be learning about slope and how to find slope from two different ways. First, we're going to start off with finding slope between 2 points. So let's start off with this. We see in number 1 that we're given 2 points. First, 2, 3. Those are positive. The second given point is 5 and 11. So you'll find with slope, people automatically think of rise over run. And that's great for when you're finding it on a graph. But there is a formula that we're going to use for when we're finding it when we're just given 2 points. That formula is, let me write it real quick. I know you can't see very well, but y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, as you're finding slope, when you're given this formula, it's very smart to use 2 different colors for labeling your x's and your y's. That way you don't get them confused. So as you can see here, I've already labeled x1, x2 in blue, and then I've labeled y1 and y2 in dark pink. Okay, so let's just go ahead and plug in these numbers, and I'll go ahead and use the colors that I've arranged. So first, we're going to put in our y's. So we're given y1, which is positive 3, and y2, which is positive 11. Make sure that you're looking at this second given point when you're plugging that in. Your y2 goes first, not your y1. That can confuse some students, but make sure you're using that second given point to put your first. So y2 is positive 11 minus y1, which is positive 3. So you just plug that in. I'm going to go ahead and use my pencil to divide the line. And then I'm going to my x's, which I have given you in blue. So we're going to do x2, which is 5, minus x1, which is positive 2. You're just going to solve that, just 1 second. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug this in. And again, I'm using that same color code throughout the entire problem. That way I don't confuse myself on which one is my x and which one is my y. So then you're going to get 5 minus 2, which is 3. So I did 11 minus 3 for my y's, and I got 8 over 5 minus 2, and I got 3. Now remember, as we're doing this, we got to remember to simplify. But as you can see here, you can't simplify 8 over 3. So your answer is 8 over 3. I'm going to go ahead and do one more example for finding slope when you're given 2 points. So again, I'm going to go ahead and plug that formula in. It's always a smart idea to plug your formula in no matter how many questions there are. So it's going to be the same formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so again, I'm going to use that same color coordination, and I'm going to do my y2, so negative 2 minus my y1, which is 0. And put that over my x2, which is positive 4, minus my x1, which is positive 0. Okay, so you're going to plug this in once again, and you'll get negative 2 for the top. Remember to keep that same color coordination over, and then obviously 4 minus 0, you get 4, so let's change the colors here. Okay, and as we can see, we can simplify this. When we simplify this, we end up getting negative 1 over 2. And that ends up being our answer for this one. So again, finding slope between 2 points is very simple. You just use the simple equation of y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Remember, it's very smart to color coordinate your x's and your y's so you don't get them confused. So for finding slope between 2 points, you just plug your given information in this formula and remember to always simplify your answer. Remember, in this one we couldn't simplify, but in this one we could. So always double check, make sure you can simplify if you can. If you can't, that's okay. Now we're going to go on to finding slope when you're given a point. Okay, so I've written example number 1. Okay, so as you can see, we're given a simple graph. We have our x and our y, and we're looking at this. We have -4, +5, +6, -3. Well, when you're given this, what is the first thing you should do? You should always label what's your x1 and x2, and then y1 and y2. And I'm going with those same colors so I don't confuse you here. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do when we're given these points is we're going to first label our graph. So we're going to go -4, and then we're going to rise to +5. And it's okay if you don't have graphing paper. You can kind of improvise like I've done here. It may not be drawn to scale, but that's okay. So we're going to go, again, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to go over -4, and you're going to rise to +5 to get your first coordinate. That's about right there. And again, that's -4, +5. Okay? Then we're going to look at 6 and -3. So we're going to go over +6, and since it's negative, you go down. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, 6, -3. Make sure to always label this. And another smart idea for your graph is to label which is which. So again, this is your x1, x2. This is your y1, y2. Now for the graph, since you're given these points, again, like I said in the beginning of the video, you automatically think of rise over run. Rise over run. So for this point, you're going to look at your rise over your run. Okay? So let's see here. Excuse me, sorry. Getting all my papers organized here. Okay. So once again, we're looking at this rise over run. And when we look, we're going to count. And you may get lost when you don't have graphing paper, but you've risen over here to -3. So you're going to rise 3, and then over here, you're going to look. Okay, so if I'm at my y, I'm looking at -3 to +5. How much have I risen from there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when I'm looking, I'm thinking rise over run. My first graph, I'm given the rise over run. So let's plug in the slope. So you're going to do y2, again, minus y1. So -3 minus +5 over take my other color here. 6 minus negative 4. Okay, so when we run into this, and you see I have positive 6 minus negative 4. When you see a negative and a negative together, remember, you can automatically make that a plus sign. You're adding. Okay? So we're going to plug that in your calculator. Negative 3 minus 5. You get negative 8.